I've been on a long grind.
Yes, what's happening, people? We're live yet again with another episode of FS Uncut. I'm your host, Daniel. Before I introduce my guest, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share with all your friends. Kojo, Mike, how are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. I like the layout, by the way. You got the guys that qualify for the next round of the FA Cup on the top, and then you man at the bottom. So yeah, I like that.
You know.
Here you are reading too much into things. Anyway, look, listen. I think that's just a perfect segue to talk about the game. Me personally, I think today's game was a lot better than last week's Sunday. Today's what I expected last week's Sunday to be. I'm not gonna lie, even though the performance was better than normal, losing to United is never good, and that is annoying. And it's the fact that we were going into the game, and that's when United got the winner, that just made it a lot worse. But Michael, what do you think of the game?
Nah, I think it was a good game though. It was a good game. I mean, the first 20 minutes, Liverpool they were playing really good, isn't it? They played really good, and later when United came back, and to be honest, I thought United were just bullying Liverpool. The Liverpool defense were just all over the place.
Especially the right-hand side. The right-hand side was a disaster. Trent was, I think Klopp just tells him to do it, but Trent was just so high, so forward. And then every time United counter, he was nowhere to be seen. It was always Rashford versus Reece.
To be honest, remember I did mention this earlier on. Trent is not a good defender. It's good going forward, but it's not a good defender. I don't understand when we're gonna realize this. It's actually not a good defender. It's all right defender, not like wow, great.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. He's not like, he doesn't blow your mind away. He's not world class.
Exactly. It's not
going forward. Good,
absolutely spot on. Going forward is great, but defending, it's not. So it's not like it's the first time we're saying it. Even last season, we did see bits and pieces of that. Just that obviously because the way they played so well. So it made up for it. Do you know what I mean? Even if they concede 1 goal, they'll probably score 5 goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but this season, everyone is saying, "Oh wow, okay, it's not as well before it was before." Do you know what I mean? So it's not a surprise for me, anyways. It's not. I don't know.
Yeah. What are you saying, Kojo, about the game? You must be happy beating Liverpool, progressing to the next round. Your undefeated record continues. United are looking imperious at the moment.
Yeah, you know what it is, excuse me, it's end of the day, when you play Liverpool, I just said it, I was on Usman's show as well, and I said, bruv, I don't care right now at this point if it's Weatherton, Carabao, even if it's John Stone Paint Trophy. When Man United and Liverpool play each other, there has to be a winner, and I always want it to be my team because that's just a big game. The rivalry is too strong. We're the two clubs that don't like each other at the end of the day. But today was really good. I think what was important was when we went 1-0 down, in my head I was, how did we bounce back? Because I feel like we actually played decent in the first half, but in that first 25 minutes, but when Salah scored, it's about the Man United has dropped, or did they actually find their way back in? And they were comfortable in that game after that. They managed to defend their way back in. They attacked well. The link-up play was really good. I think everyone really stepped up a level after conceding that goal, and that's what's more important. What you guys said about Trent, and I felt sorry for Reece, man. The thing is, he's been getting a lot of criticism because Liverpool fans don't rate him too well. They don't think he's got that much potential to be a starter for Liverpool in the future. But the thing is, when you are such, I know, and the thing is, Trent is also a young guy as well. But when you are such a player that's played 3-4 years as a first team player for Liverpool, your game has to mature. And I always say, even though I know what his role is as a Liverpool player, and I know what his role is as a right back, at the end of the day, when you play in that position, your first primary objective is to be able to defend. And the way he left Reece by himself was criminal. You can't leave him against a left winger, a left back, and even Cavani. Cavani started going to that side a lot more because it was easier to do.
Literally, the game changed where you guys realized, look, listen, attack Liverpool down the right, down there, right, and it's game over. It was so peak to watch because every counter attack, maybe it would be from the right back position, and you just switch to Luke Shaw and you're away, and it's just like Luke Shaw or Rashford were just kept on getting at our right-hand side. And I feel not even a Trent issue. I think it was just a tactical issue. The way we set up was not set up to protect Reece, and we need to be smarter, in my opinion. We need to be a lot smarter than that.
I think you guys made headings here as well.
Oh, 100%. Today we made
you guys because I think United dominated the middle of the park. Pogba was all over the place, winning tackles, winning duels, and intercepting balls. I think he did that. That's why they control the ball from the middle, and that's why Cavani has space to be running down the right. What is centre forward doing on the right? Do you get what I mean? Because obviously the right is already what's his name? Alex Trent is already out of position. So Cavani will always go there. And even if you see the first ball as well, the first goal from what's his name?
Greenwood.
United. Yeah, you see, it's from that position. Rashford gave that pass.
Yeah, exactly.
So that position was exposed. It was literally exposed. So they just keep on attacking that position. Even Rashford go as well, same position. You get what I mean? So
now, to be fair, I can't lie. Rashford, like, I feel sorry for Reece, but Rashford's goal was Reece's fault. Like, you can't blame Trent for that. A ball's played in.
It's not.
Clear your lines. For me, to clear your lines. Yeah. Like, of course, we have to defend him because this is not his level at the end of the day. He should not be starting centre-back for Liverpool against Manchester United. But sometimes, as a professional footballer, there's some things that should be your bread and butter. And I felt the ball's coming exactly to you. You have to clear that. Before I continue, let me just introduce our guest. Hopefully we beat his team this Thursday. Toby, how you doing? You're mute.
I've just realised that I still got my old name. So let me change that. It's not Tottenham Toes. I changed it back to Tottenham.
Nah. No worries. Okay. What are you saying? What are your thoughts on the game today?
It was a good game of football. That's first and foremost. That's the one thing I was glad to see because I think we all know it. Over the last 6 or 7 years at least, every time Man United play Liverpool, it's a flipping
dead game.
So I was happy to see both teams going for it. I did think Man United looked a lot more dangerous than Liverpool did. I know Liverpool did well today, and in comparison to recent weeks, chance creation was there. Neat forward play was there. Like Firmino today, he looked good. I'm not gonna lie, like he didn't score, but his passing, he looked good. Salah looked sharp today as well. I feel like obviously Sadio Mane, he came on.
He was dead in my opinion.
Was poor, exactly. Was poor. So he's not. He had this renaissance where he like Palace and West Brom, where we thought, okay, cool, maybe you're getting back to normal form, but he's just gone back to the level he was playing at before the Palace game. And he's just not. I think ever since probably like game week, I don't know, 6 or 7, or in fact, probably 6 or 7. Sadio Mane, his performances just haven't been the same. Like even when he doesn't score, he's still threatening. Like, and you can't say that of him this season. Like a lot of games you've watched him where he's not even threatening. So ultimately, I was happy to see a really good performance. I was happy to see Bruno Fernandes finally score against the big team. Above all, good game. I think Man United were good value for the 3 points. I feel like their attacking play was better than Liverpool's, but I feel like that's because of the way Liverpool set up, i.e. Thiago as the 6, minimal protection for the defense in the midfield today, and the fullbacks pushing forward. So, I mean, if you do that against, by all accounts, top three most dangerous sort of sides to play against on the counter, then they're going to have opportunities. So, Man United were good value for 3 points today, but it was a good match.
Speaking about teams on the counter, Spurs are another team that's set up like that. Do you think you're going to be feasting on our defense on Thursday? Because when I was watching that game, I'm just thinking, if Son and Kane link up down that left, it's curtains, in my opinion. If they get the same opportunities and space Rashford and Shaw got, it's long.
Yeah, I do. I don't think we're going to be feasting because I feel like Jurgen Klopp, he's too smart a manager to set up the way he did today against us on Thursday. He's too smart a manager to set up the way he did at Anfield against us at our ground. But I do think he can't help but play with a high line. That's your lot's style. That's your lot's tactic. You lot you press high up the pitch, and as a consequence, your line is by default higher. And I think we are the perfect team to exploit that. And like you said, on that left-hand side especially, without a doubt, Mourinho is going to tell Son to target that left-hand side, because we saw the trouble that Bergwijn caused you on the left-hand side at Anfield with Reece Williams and Trent Williams.
Yeah,
and we're seeing, and if Sonny plays on that left-hand side, it's Rap City. So I think we will exploit that, and I think we'll win on Thursday.
Raw. Look, if Liverpool lose on Thursday, things are looking peak, because like we'll have to kiss the title goodbye, and it's a top 4 battle. And from winning the league to top 4 battle, nah, man, I can't be having that. But Michael, you must be happy because you called this at the start of the season.
I told you guys, this is gonna be, they're gonna get found out, and this is just the beginning. Let's be honest. I think what is these guys, they're tired. They press so they're not robots. Let's be honest, they're not robots. They press so hard. Just what Toby said. They press so hard. How long are you gonna do that for? How many seasons? They've done that, like, let's say 3 seasons in a row. You know what I mean? And they're not refreshing this. They're not refreshing the squad. Salah, and Mane, they can't keep doing that week in, week out. That's just the simple truth. Your first 11 is fine, but after that, what happened? Shaqiri, Origi, are they going to change the game? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? And you're playing the likes of City or Harry Kane and Son. Your defense they're going to be exposed again. And that's what's going to happen on Thursday. And I hope that happens, because...
Yeah, wait, Mike. Why do you have this energy for Liverpool, though? Like, what did Liverpool do?
Because of you and Harold.
Me?
You and Harold. Yeah.
Wait, what did me and Harold do?
Oh, let's not go into debate now. You know what you guys said. The league is going to be easy, back to back. We're going to dominate. Like, it's Premier League.
I hear you.
I'm telling you, guys. Mike, Kojo he know what we discuss. We discuss this, and it's been going on. I said to them, the only team I think they're gonna win the league at City. It's not because of Pep, but it's just the way their team is being set up. Anyone can win in that team. Anyone goes in. Look at what's his name. Laporte can't get into the team right now. You get what I mean? Because Stones and Diaz, they're good partnership, and tomorrow Stones haven't played in the league since how long? But now they've not considered goals for how many games? Do you know what I mean? So this is what I'm talking about. Take Van Dijk out of the team, and they struggle.
I think that's harsh though, because I think it's easy to say take Van Dijk out of the team and they struggle. They since for the past 3, possibly 4 months, they've had at a push 1 fit centre back all season. 1 senior centre back. Reece Williams is not a senior first team.
It's not.
They did not plan to play Reece Williams at all this season. Fabinho's we said it on the other pod. I can't remember the last time I've seen Fabinho have a rest for Liverpool. He's literally having to play every single game because they have no centre back. So yes, it was arrogant by Harold and maybe Daniel. To be honest, I have not really seen you be arrogant about Liverpool, Daniel. It's mainly Harold.
Hey, Toby, go back and find the episodes, bro. Trust me.
They love puffing their chest out. But what I'm saying is, I feel like it's easier said than done to say, "Oh, take Laporte out of the team, Stones," and I think it's hypotheticals because you saw Man City last season; they struggled, and even when Laporte came back, they struggled. And I think at Liverpool this season, it's a combination of factors: fatigue, injuries, and some players fundamentally just not playing well. So a dip is to be expected when you consider the level they've played at the last couple of years. But this dip is unacceptable, like
100.
But as I said, that being said, today was an encouraging performances. Stat for stat, they match Man United today. Attempts on goal, they match Man United today. Big chances created, they match Man United today. I just thought Man United today looked a bit more threatening, and ultimately they had Bruno to come off the bench and win them the game. Simple.
Look, speaking of Bruno, look, that guy, you can't defeat him, and he's so jarring. And the thing is, it hasn't happened against Liverpool, so like I see him breaking other teams, but when I see him score that goal, do his silly knee slide, oh my days, I was fuming. But Mike, Kojo, you must be delighted because you love Bruno. You have loved Bruno from the start.
I've loved him for a long time. It's not just a United thing; it's been a sporting thing as well. But the one thing that I criticised him for, and I actually have to apologise to Bobs because I actually lowered my world class levels a little bit in terms of what I say world class player is, and I don't think he is. But what he is he's capable of winning a game out of nowhere, and it tends to be usually from set pieces, which I love. At the end of the day, I've said that United needed a player for a while that would strike balls from range, that is a lot more convincing at set pieces in terms of free kicks and at penalties, because there's a period of time where United were bottled in penalties as well. As I think you guys can remember, Martial was missing, Rashford was missing, Pogba was missing. Yeah, so we needed someone that was a lot more convincing, and he's become that guy. When he came off the bench today, and then he gave the ball away straight away from a pass, I was thinking, oh no, bro, don't do this, not today. Not of all days. But like Toby said, bro, he needed a goal against a big team. He needed to come and really assert himself. And United fans, Liverpool fans, they know what the deal is with this rivalry. So to do it in this game, to win the game for United against Liverpool, is what we love. And we want to see more of that because we know he's got
the ability. Penalty. It wasn't a penalty.
It was definitely a 25-yard penalty. That's what it was. So I'm happy. I'm happy that he came off the bench and he performed. But I thought we also coped well without him today, which was actually quite.
He did.
I was happy to see. I think because he gives the ball away quite a lot, it was refreshing to see someone like Donny van der Beek who has better link-up play, just keeping things moving a lot more smoother. Pogba enjoyed as well. But when he came on, we all asked for him to make the difference, and he did. He won the game, so we cannot be upset. That's what he was brought in for at the end of the day. It's literally a 1 year anniversary since he came in, I think it is, and
yeah.
Liverpool. So well done to him, man. I'm proud.
Sticking on United, Kojo, because on Twitter I see United fans getting gassed. But when I talk to United fans in the DMs, one-on-one in group chats, they're staying humble. They're saying there's still a long way to go. Look, listen, I don't want any fence sitting. I want you to talk with your chest. What's in your heart? Do you think you guys can win the league?
No, honestly, I think we are capable of winning the league. My issue is I'm not going to say that we are a certified threat until I said about game 25, where I can look at them and I can say, oh, look, you're saying level. I think by game 25, a gap will be forming between like first and third, and then third and maybe sixth. I think things are going to start forming a bit more. You can see clearer. And the way City are playing also, that's why I don't want you guys, my United fans, to go out and say, look, we're doing this, because at the end of the day, City are in top form right now. And the way they're playing in the league anyway is quite phenomenal to watch. But we are challenging. That would be silly of me to not say we're not challenging, because we're up there, we're getting results, even if they're not the most convincing, then you're winning games. That's the most important thing. So yeah, we are up there at the moment, but let's see what it gets to by game 25. If we're still there, then I can be a bit more chesty about my ambitions for a Premier League title. Because as I told you at the beginning of this year, bro, I had no expectations because I didn't know what this team was going to do. I had no expectations whatsoever. And it's stuff like doing so well and then getting knocked out of the Champions League when we needed a point. That's the kind of stuff that still worries me. You know what I'm saying? So to go out and say in the league, yeah, we're doing well, we're going to win it, we could literally go on a run of 2 or 3 losses in a row and then suddenly back to square one and everyone's going to say Ole out, get him out of here, Pogba this, Bruno that. So let's wait. Let's see what happens. But right now, I am feeling comfortable. I'm feeling good because we're winning games. We're in good form.
Look, listen, before I get on to anyone, let me just add Manny to the stream because I know he's going to be gassed. Manny, what are you saying?
Look at him. He called the scoreline as well, though. He said it was going to be a 3-2W. He did say it. Yeah, he did say it. Manny, talk.
Was it good? What is there to say? What is there to say? What is there to say? Listen, 3-2, yeah. I called it, you know. Do you know what? Nah. Do you know what? My question is, how are you feeling, Daniel, man? How are you feeling? Feeling?
I'm actually good, you know. I expected, look, we're going into the game. I didn't expect us to win. I was surprised. Man, you loud.
Really?
I was surprised with the performance, but the not winning for me is still big. No matter how good we played, not winning is still big. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed, but we have Thursday to go on to. What's funny? I'm
just laughing, man, because do you know what? Yeah, I've never seen that. I mean, you know what? You're right. It's even Howard I want, man. It's Howard. It's Howard I want, man. It's his head. It's his head. Bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this guy was like, do you know what? Man tweeted that he's the next 10 fixtures started with Burnley. It's a good time for us to, restart again. You've lost to Burnley. You then lost to United in the FA Cup. It's up. Do you know what it is for me? I think Liverpool are done. They're just done. There's no answer no more. You're finished. Salah got a brace today. Cool, whatever in it. Nah, we let him score 2 goals. Cool, whatever in it. Cool, whatever. I said 3-2 in it. So I'm, you know what I mean. It is what it is. Now next round of the FA Cup. Yeah, I'm good.
You finally Ollie in.
He will not answer that question ever. You know it.
Right.
You know he's not going to answer that question.
But wait, that's the thing I don't get. Like, why are United fans still not Ollie in? Because what he's doing now is pretty good. Like, run of games, United every game looks threatening. And that's
at one point we had 22% possession, bro. At one point in that game, we had 22% possession. That's not good, bro.
So you think that's unacceptable?
I don't like that. That's unacceptable.
No, Manny, the reason why that doesn't upset me too tough is because at this point I kind of know what to expect from United when they play the big sides. We're not a team that's able to control the ball well, apart from today when we showed in glimpses. But once we realised Liverpool were easy to expose on that left side, I feel like Ole just got it simple and he got the job done. At the end of the day, I think the hesitation for us to go back to Ole in or go to Ole out or whatever is because when we've been in good positions before, we've also been slapped back down straight away, and there's been no answer. Talking about his first season when he came, or first sort of half, 3/4 of the season, we were doing so well. Top 4 should have been in the bag. Cardiff, Huddersfield, bang, done. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Last year, semi-final loss. And then this year, the Champions League L. But in the league, we're doing well. But it's still so early to say, yeah, we're doing this and we're going to do this. So there's always going to be that hesitation. I think United fans just need we need something where we can say, all right, cool, you've got this. And whether it's a league win, whether that's a Europa League win, whether it's a cup with the FA Cup, if you have something solid to say Ole brought this to the club, then you have something to build on. If it's the same old, all right, we finished in the top 4, but we weren't convincing in this, and this, then it will never, ever be a certified Ole, he's doing a wonderful job. But also United fans need to realize this is not the same Manchester United Football Club. So right now what they're doing is actually really good. But
Cody, what do you think United need to win?
Something.
Like what? Players or?
Because you have the players, you have Bruno,
No,
you
we
have
Rashford,
we need world class coaches.
Man United fans,
not even world class coaches, good coaches, bro.
Man United fans will never be happy until they win a Premier League or Champions League. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
I know where Man United are, but
no, but do you know what? Yeah, do you know what's mad? Even if we win the Premier League this season, I'll be so happy in it. But I still want to see us like Oli. I'll keep. I just want to see. I want to see good coaches at United, innit? Like Carrick, McKenna, McPheeling. Like
you ain't feeling them,
bro. If they win the Premier League,
nah, I ain't.
If they win the Premier League title, why would you talk crud about them? I don't understand.
Exactly.
Because I just think it's just one of those seasons, isn't it? I just think this season is one of those seasons where anything can happen. The same way we're at the top of the league is the same way we can easily be out of top 4 in about 2-3 games.
Okay,
or even out of top 6.
But if
you think so,
yeah,
that's true. But at the same, time,
but as mad as it is, Arsenal, if Arsenal win, 3-4 games, and everyone else, I know it's never gonna happen. I'm just trying to appease Basil in it. But if Arsenal, win 3 or 4 games, and all the other results go their way, they're in the top 4. So anything can happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen, but you still need to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer some credit.
100%. I'll give you credit.
I don't rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer highly as a coach, but I've always felt that Man United fans have been overly critical on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've always felt it. No matter what this guy does, he gets scapegoated. And I do agree that there have been several times in his Man United career where the sack was literally inevitable, where we thought the sack was inevitable. And each time he's turned it around. And I feel like this season as well, in addition to Man United getting the results, he's getting your better players playing well. And I feel like in spite of all the drivel that we've seen from Man United, in spite of all his inadequacies as a tactical coach and whatnot, the one thing I can give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer credit for is he's always been able to get the best out of your better players. He did so in his first season, he did so last season, and he's doing so this season. So for me, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's pretty simple. He's not good enough to be the Man United coach, but right now he is doing a good enough job.
I agree.
100%. Yeah.
But for me, it's scary that we're having this debate about a manager who's top of the league at the moment, and it's not even.
You say it's crazy, but it's there to see. You just have to watch Man United play.
Oh no! The thing is, no, I agree with that. Like, especially in the first 25, 30 minutes. Like, for me, I think the reason why United were poor in that spell, and I've seen it in a lot of games, is okay, the players were sloppy on the ball. But if you see the players getting the ball, like, what's the next? You can't see any clear patterns, in my opinion. Unless it gets to a certain player, like to Rashford. Rashford knows he cuts in.
Still beat you though. Because the way you're talking, no clear patterns, we know that, but we still beat you with no clear patterns.
No. We're thinking on Oli. We're forgetting Liverpool at the minute. But I understand if you watch United week in, week out, Oli tactically might not have a clue, but at the moment he's doing his thing.
He is.
Top of the table.
Exactly.
Say than that.
But you just have to be fair with him. You have to the same way we can acknowledge that he's fundamentally not good enough for Man United, and he's very much a game-to-game manager as opposed to throughout the season. It's the same way we can acknowledge that Man United are top of the league. He's getting the best out of Paul Pogba now. He's been able to help Rashford go up a couple levels in his career. The likes of Luke Shaw progressing now this season of competition as well. You got to remember as well, the squad he was working with in the first half of last season was absolutely atrocious.
Horrible.
That's why as poor as he was as a manager, for the first half of last season, there was only so much I could put on the manager because the squad was absolutely abysmal. And to add to the fact that Paul Pogba was missing for pretty much 90% of the season, he only came back during the restart. Had there not been any COVID, you probably wouldn't have seen Paul Pogba play that season. This guy was having to juggle a McTominay, Fred, Lingard, and Pereira midfield for pretty much 6 months. So, as much as we want to slam Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you have to take into account the other factors, which is that he didn't have the depth and he didn't have the quality.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, Manny, you're not going to answer Ole in or Ole out then?
You heard the question. Answer the question.
Do you know what? Yeah, McTominay needs to go. You know.
Wait, why
he's McTominay. I don't like, but this guy's too sloppy on the ball. He did some good things. Yeah, he did some good things. No, he played well. He did some good things, but he's just too sloppy on the ball. There's one clearance. My man should do this one-touch clearance thing, yeah, and then he gave the ball. I was just like, no, man. He just. Oh no, man! I hate.
I think you're a bit harsh. You're a bit too harsh. Come on.
If I speak, I'm in trouble, anyways.
No. Say you're bad on McTominay because I thought he was sloppy as well. But to be fair,
no, he was very sloppy.
When he was sloppy, Pogba was also sloppy as well. And for me personally, I don't think he was man of the match for me personally. Like when he got it, me personally, Pogba, I was shocked when he got it.
He didn't deserve it. I thought
I can't lie, I would have given man of the match.
He did deserve it.
I'd give it Rashford, Shaw, or Bruno for just winning the game. I would have understood Bruno, but Rashford, Shaw.
Look at the pass for the first goal, took the second goal well, and generally he was a threat. Always on that left-hand side.
That's a fair point, but you see, for me, it's Bruno. Yeah, to beat Alisson like that as well. You see, that free kick that's a bad boy free kick. I didn't even expect him to go there. I did not expect him to go there.
Alisson gave himself an issue with his slight movement to the other side before he died.
Yeah, because that was the obvious thing to. That's the obvious place.
Of course. But this is why. I mean, I remember. Gary Neville he didn't get criticism for it, but people were kind of questioning why he did like a bit on goalkeepers. I think Liverpool conceded a goal. I think it was Jagielka's goal when it was like the positioning and also that little jump. But it's these small details that make you go from making a save to conceding the goal. You know what I mean? So he didn't help himself in that regard. I'm not trying to take away from the free kick because I'm just as happy as you are. The free kick was quality. He hit it well, hit it nice and low, made it difficult for Alisson to save. Got in the corner, so that's what you want from your free kick taker. So there's nothing to take away from him. But Alisson just didn't help himself in that regard. He's become a little bit, and I'm not trying to like get onto him too tough because he's still a phenomenal goalkeeper, but he has been a little bit sloppy with some of the goals he's conceded recently. I think he should have done a bit better.
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't agree with that because I think he's been probably their best player this season. He's kept them in the games that they shouldn't have been in.
But I'm talking about recently. Not that he's been bad, just I feel like he could have saved a couple of these.
I think he should have saved Rashford's, me personally, and Bruno's. Me personally, I was annoyed with both of those goals. They were good finishes, good play, but I thought he should have saved both of them.
That's just one I can't agree. The Bruno one, he made his life difficult for himself, so that's why.
Yeah, he made it difficult for himself. I always get annoyed if a keeper gets beaten on his side. For me, a keeper should. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I don't think a keeper should ever get beaten on his side. Me personally, in a free kick, but yeah, it is what it is. Look, Bruno, like today, he provided a world-class moment, but. Look, Kojo, you said at the start you lowered your world-class standards. Why don't you think Bruno's world-class?
Because this is the first top game. We always talk about your best players doing the job in literally, of course, the smaller games, of course, but when it comes to the big games where the occasion, you need your player to rise to the occasion and do the thing. More often than not, he's not been doing that. So this is the first game that in terms of Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, City, yeah. This is the first game that I can look at him and say, you delivered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it was a short cameo, it was a free kick, but when he came off the bench, so apart from one or two sloppy passes, overall it was actually quite good. Because I know the criteria is different for everybody, innit? I get it at the end of the day. And I think I was just trying to lower my standards due to I feel like the level of football today. But yeah, I just don't think he's there yet. But we need a lot more big game performances. I don't bring trophies into it because that's what people try to do to discourage and discredit someone like Harry Kane. But every time Harry Kane's played against a big side, he's popped them, and he's popped them well. On top of performing against the smaller side as well. So, you know, for me, I just need Bruno to do it a lot more in these games. So if he keeps up the full level performance and then does it against Arsenal, which is soon, and then the next team, and then the next team, and then the next team, and the next team, then I can start saying to myself, okay, now I can bring you into that because you got the statistics, but I need you in the big moments. I need you in the big games to do the thing, and then we can run from there.
So if Bruno, which he has been doing, is getting goals, is getting assists, but is putting out stinkers, for you that's not enough. He has to play well in addition to that. It's not
about playing 9 out of 10 every game. It's about the difference you make in one moment. We always talk about players of high quality, even if they have a poor game, in one moment they can change the game like that. You know what I'm saying? They can be poor for 89 minutes, but that 1 minute, that one moment where they change the game, the course of the game because of their quality, that's what it's about. And that's what I need from him. So he's done that against the smaller sides. Again, I've said it over and over, but against the bigger teams, we need you because more often than not, recently United's records against bigger teams, apart from last season against City and Chelsea, has been good. You know what I'm saying? So I need him to just show up in that moment. I need more, just a little bit more. He's almost there, but just need that extra bit, and it has to happen against the big boys. If it happens against the big boys, then I can say, yo, you're there, you've arrived. But it's like he's on the cusp, but he's missing that extra something. And I feel that's against the big teams doing the job. But today's step one. Liverpool step one.
So today's step one of him becoming world class.
Well, we need more. We need more. I'm not saying if he does it against all the other big sides this season, that's it, defined. Because you know me, I've said it to you. I need 3 to 4 years of excellence. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I've got that excellence from him at this level yet anyway, but we'll see what happens.
You see, so the 3 to 4 years of excellence thing, like people always say a long period of time, but then I always find that funny because me personally, I think N'Golo Kante is world class, but I don't think N'Golo Kante had 3 or 4 years of excellence, me personally. I think he had 2 years of very, very good level, and then the level dropped.
What level?
Pardon?
Sorry, what level? What level do you think he's been dropping recently?
I don't think he's hit the heights of Leicester under Ranieri and Chelsea under Conte. Ever since Conte's first season, I think his level has dropped. But for me personally, I'd still call him world class because those two back-to-back levels of performances was so clear and so good for his role.
I don't think we can call him a world-class player anymore, though. I'm not going to lie. I think he's a quality player, and I think he was world-class in his past. But right now, I don't think we can call him a world-class player.
I don't even think we can say he was world-class in the past because, he's done it for one season with Leicester, great. He then went to Chelsea, basically did a back-to-back for himself, which is great again. But then it's like you've done that and then you've just fallen off. People might say, yeah, he was instrumental to the World Cup, but I still think that World Cup was won because of Pogba and Mbappe anyway. So, for me, I wouldn't put him in the world-class bracket. He's a quality player. He has a lot of quality. Do you know what I mean? There's only a few people that do what he does. Do you know what I mean? But just because he's one of the few doesn't mean I will call him world-class. I call it because his best season I still think was at Leicester and he was playing with Drinkwater. Chelsea went to bring in Drinkwater and Drinkwater just died away. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Michael's not happy.
I disagree. I disagree with Manny, man. Come on.
Wait, why do you disagree?
Listen, we saw what he did in Leicester, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did that at Chelsea, right? Mm-hmm. And I think his rating started dropping when he was playing under Sarri. Why? Because he was playing out of his position.
Now,
I don't agree with that.
You know what? Wait. No, wait. The one thing I'll disagree is people always blame Sarri, but then I don't know why people forget his second season under Conte. His second season under Conte wasn't near the level of the first season under Conte. That's what I mean.
You don't forget he has injury as well, though.
Okay.
Do you know he had injury?
Okay. Do you know what? You look at someone like Thiago. Yeah. No one here won't say Thiago is world class. Thiago's he's injury prone, but if he comes into a game, no matter what, he will still do something. Conte will come in and for 90 minutes will drop a stinker.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's
not true. He was one of the best. He was one of Chelsea's best players up until
he was.
No. I'm saying this season he was one of Chelsea's best players up until a month ago too, and the form has dipped somewhat. He's playing as the lone anchor, which as we've seen at his best, that's not his strongest position. So yes, he can break up play. Yes, his best attributes are more towards the defensive part of the game as opposed to what he does on the ball. But he's not bad on the ball either. He's a decent passer and he can dribble with the ball. Yeah. And most importantly, he had the energy. Still has the energy to cover big spaces. So I think it's harsh to say that he stinks up to joint for 90 minutes. I think that's completely wrong because when Chelsea were at their best this season, he was a big part of their form.
But then you said he's not world class anymore. Why would you say he's not world class anymore? Do you think players can leave that bracket?
Yeah, definitely, because I don't think he's played to a world class level the last two 2 to 3 years. I don't think you look at what he's done and say, yep, you're playing to a world class standard. Fernandinho used to be a world class player, but he's not a world class player anymore because he's under Wayne and the performances are not to the level that he used to set. You have to say the same with N'Golo Kante, irrespective of where they're playing him. But where they're playing him also makes a big difference as well. Because when you're asking to this, when Sarri was asking this guy to play as a more attack-minded box-to-box number 8, it was never going to work.
Never.
But I feel like he did. I think he did well with Sarri. I mean, considering circumstances.
Yeah, he did okay. That's the thing. He did okay, but that's what we're trying to say here. We're talking about, is he a world-class player? You're not going to get a world-class N'Golo Kante playing in that position. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I hear that. So the world's wrong anyway. Yeah.
So what for you defines a world-class player, Toby? Because you said N'Golo Kante was world-class, but like I said, and I don't think he was a world-class player for 3 to 4 years. I think he was at a world-class level or played at high standards for maybe 2.5 years. Do you think that's enough?
I feel like he was for me, a world-class player, typically I need about like 3 seasons at least to judge. That's my normal metric. And I don't judge it based on what others are doing. I judge it based on how the individual's performing. And there are certain exceptions to the rule. There are some players who will perform at a ridiculous high level to the point where there's nothing but world class that you can stamp them with. Like let me give you a point. Van Persie for Arsenal Van Persie at Arsenal in his early years, he was injured a lot, but he was a good player. And then the season when they got dumped out of the League Cup in the final by Birmingham, he came back from injury and he was hot in form. And you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, he's doing well. And then the next season, Arsenal lose Fabregas, lose Nasri, all of these players. The guy scored something like 36, 38 goals, putting that team on his back, literally carrying them week in, week out. What other word can you use to describe a player like that? Because what we saw, the caliber of goals, the number of goals he scored, the teams he scored against, the fact that he was, without a doubt, the best player in the league that season, and then to go and do it again at Man United, scoring against big teams, literally being the difference between them winning the league. There is no other definition that you can give that player apart from world class. And it's the same thing with N'Golo Kante. The impact he made at Leicester was unbelievable, insane. They won a title, Leicester, and then he goes to Chelsea, and he is literally top 3 best players in that team, on course to winning the title. There is no other word you can use to describe that apart from a world-class player, because you can see the impact he's making for these teams.
I agree.
It's the same with Mbappe as well. Normally 3 years to judge, but you look at his meteoric rise. If you were to say, is Mbappe a world-class player, you struggle to hear anyone who will say no. So for me, generally, it's a three-year period, but there are some players that just break the mold completely. You just have to dash the rule book out the window.
Wait, before everyone continues, I think it's up to our Daniel, since we're talking about his DM. Yo, Dan, what are you saying?
What are you saying, bro? I hope everyone's good.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're basically talking about world-class players at the moment, and we just fell into Kante. And the reason why I fell into Kante is because some people, when they say a player has to be world-class, they say 4 years, 5 years. But me personally, I think Kante only operated at that level for about 2.5 years, in my opinion. But I'd still call him world-class. How long do you think a player has to operate at that level to be considered world-class?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of alluded to it on the last episode we had, where I was talking about my criteria is quite strict in terms of who I consider world-class and whatnot. I think I would say there needs to be a consistency level of 3 years for you to be put into that bracket, a consistency level of 3 years. But it's not just the consistency in it. Like for me, it's not equally weighted, but I consider everything. So the trophies, the eye test, whether you got absurd numbers depending on your position, and then obviously again the consistency level. How long have you been playing at this level, or at the world class level? And for how long have you been playing at that level? I mean, for Kante, I think the first season at Leicester, I think he was operating at a world-class level again when he won the league at Leicester. I think he was operating at a world-class level. I don't think he was world-class, but he was operating at a world-class level. Goes to Chelsea and wins the league in his first season.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
He did back-to-back.
Exactly. So, yeah, wins the league in his first season, and then he was world-class. I think it was definitely more than 2.5 years, definitely. It was more than that. And I even still think to this day that if you put Kante in a good situation in terms of the team, he's a world-class player still, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Chelsea have really let him down in terms of what they have built around him currently anyway in this situation. I mean, this is the first time in his career that he's being asked to play the lone DM role. And, I mean, in some parts he has been successful, but in other parts he's been really poor. So I don't think we can take him out of that category if anyone has said he's out of that category because of circumstantial issues.
That's fair enough. And how much do you guys rate trophies? Because for me, I think everyone here would agree Harry Kane is world class, but obviously Harry Kane has not won a trophy. And I hope for Toby's sake, Spurs win the League Cup. But let's say Spurs don't win the League Cup and Harry Kane finishes his career without a trophy. Would you say he's still world class?
Yes, you would. Why is that? It shouldn't be that.
No, I don't think it's a debate, but people always factor in trophies. So that's why I'm asking, how important is winning a trophy to making a player world class?
I feel like trophies are significant. But you have to look at a player's level, bro. This is what I said with the Kante thing and the Van Persie thing. You have to look at a player's level. I'll give the example again. Van Persie at Arsenal. Are you going to tell me that there was any difference in the quality of player at Man United to the player you saw at Arsenal his last season because he went to United and won the trophy? Are you going to tell me that? Really?
I think the reason why I differentiate Van Persie to Kane is because Kane has been performing at this level for now it's bordering on 6 years where he's consistently getting 20 goals in all competitions. I think for Van Persie, I think in all comps, the season before he had his breakouts, like the proper like sixth season, I think he scored 18 goals. I wouldn't have called him world class then. Then the season where he scored 30 goals, I think it was in the league. I would have said he's performing at a world class level, like he's performing at a world class level as a striker. But I still would have been scared to call him world class just because of that trophy thing. But then as soon as he went to Man United, that's what it comes down to, isn't it? It's a bit like the Grealish thing. Like I had a conversation with a guy who was telling me that am I going to deny Grealish the world class status because he plays for Aston Villa? And I think a part of me will, because of that idea that you solidify your level when you go to a better team and when you're successful at a better club. Do you know what I'm saying? That's when you can really solidify your status and it's in concrete. I think there's blurred lines when it comes to these kind of players who are at small clubs who don't have the opportunity to win trophies. However, I think Kane is in a situation. And that's why it's a weird thing. Like if I ask a question to the panel, apart from Kane, who seems to be the anomaly, tell me a player in history that we've called world class who didn't have trophies. Do you know what I'm saying?
I called Bale world class the year before he moved.
The year, but was he a world class player when like confirmed?
Yeah, so I'll explain why. I'll explain why. Because I'm with you guys on the 3 to 4. For me, it's 3 to 4 years. That's what I said. So when you say 3 years, I agree. I feel like his level started improving when Harry Redknapp came in. So you started seeing bits and bobs. He wasn't there, obviously, but it started growing with him. You could see that he was becoming the difference maker. And then the next year, when they were bossing out in the Champions League, he was the difference maker. And then the next year after that, they went to Europa League, but he's still doing his thing. Then that Villas Boas year, he became a different monster. Honestly, when I said it to my friends, they were saying he's still, and I understand the trophy thing. So that's why I said to them, all right, cool. If he gets that big move that summer, because he was already linked to Real Madrid, and he goes there and becomes a difference maker, then there is no debate. And he literally helped them go from a team that was, I guess, sort of like, they didn't go any further than the quarterfinals from Madrid for a number of years, not even first round. And then suddenly he joins Ronaldo. They have their midfield sorted, Ronaldo, Benzema, and Bale, and they go from quarterfinals first round to Champions League winners. And I was like, now you cannot even fight this, because he was really doing that at Tottenham, just playing for a lesser side. But his quality in terms of winning games in the big games, don't forget it was Man United killed them. Went against Arsenal, against the North London Derby, was popping goals against them as well. Like he was doing it in these games, and I was thinking to myself, you're reaching a stupid level. And I said it on this show before. When he scored that goal against West Ham, when he took the ball and he just sort of hit it top corner straight away, I was like, that's a world-class goal. And that makes me feel like you have now become a world-class player, hit that level, because that's a game that, yes, it is West Ham, but it's a game that you want to win when you're a Tottenham fan. And he became a difference maker in that moment. And the caliber of goals you're scoring in that season as well. Set pieces, range, the runs, the link up. I was like, cool. But I understand why people were saying I wasn't sure, because when he went to Real Madrid and he won that Champions League, that's when they were like, okay, it's a world-class player. But for me, I know 3-4 years of going from here and literally climbing to that moment where it became, for me personally, he was undeniable.
I get why you're disagreeing with me, and I totally understand it. And that's why I said the world class criteria thing is very, very subjective. But the reason why I'm harsh, because I'm even reading the comment which says I'm not harsh, is because the reason why I'm harsh is because, like, I don't want any player to fall under the category of maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Like, for example, I see a comment where someone says Matt Letizia was world class, and I disagree with that. I don't think he was, because then you start putting guys like Jermaine Defoe, who had Matt Letizier's season. No. Wait, hold on.
No way.
Wait. So Toby, is Jermaine Defoe world class or not?
Hold on.
No, he is.
He wasn't.
No, he isn't. Of course he isn't.
He wasn't. But what I'm trying to say is the difference between Bale in the season in the AVB season and the season prior is, of course, he might have had good performances, but obviously he didn't have the numbers to justify his performances, even with that advanced position that he's playing. And I think he scored 9 goals in the season before that, and then he went on to score 21 goals. And then we saw that. That's a huge difference in terms of a player's output and what he's doing for a team on the pitch. And I said, granted, he had a world-class season, but I would have been unsure to call it. Like if someone else wanted to call him world class after that season, that's fine by me. But for my criteria, what solidified him, what made it without a shadow of a doubt, was making the transition or the move to Real Madrid.
So where I also kind of
I don't think so.
The thing where I just
it works with every player that I use the category for. It works with every player.
So
it works, but it isn't the only thing to judge. It isn't.
And that's why I said it's subjective.
Yeah, but in fact, it's wrong. It's not just subjective. No.
Wait, Toby, before you continue, you said that when Dan asked, "Do you know any players that's world class? I haven't won a trophy." You said there's loads. I want you to name me them because me personally, I was struggling. For me, Kane was the only one I could think of that hasn't won a trophy.
I gave you players at different stages. I gave you as I said, I'm giving you the Van Persie example again. You're gonna, how did that not work? I'm giving you
no. The reason why
Van Persie had a world-class season the year before he went to Man United. Agreed? Yeah. No. Agreed.
Yeah. So what you're telling me? So what? If no. Now it's Spartan. If Man United didn't win that league and he still scored all those goals, you're going to tell me he wasn't world class? That's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying?
Remember, a part of the criteria was the consistency. He would have had 2 years under his bank, or it would have been the third year under his bank because he had 2 great seasons at Man United. So that's 3 years at the top. Of course, he was a world-class player during the second year. And what even took him over the top was the league title that he won. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like we're too quick to call a player world-class, especially someone like Van Persie. Calling him world-class for me after that Arsenal season wouldn't have sat right. I think calling it a world-class season, that's fine. But saying he's a world-class player, that's a bit of too much of a jump for me.
No, it isn't, because as I said, I think that's BS, because there are so generally, I get your point. We are too quick to dish out the world-class tag. But as I said at the start of my thingy, there are some players that you have to dash the rule book out the window. You have to dash the rule book out the window. This question that's just coming is Vardy no, he's never been a world-class player, and he's never had a world-class season. So that goes out the bin.
Wait, why would you say Vardy's not world-class? Because Michael's even shocked that you said Vardy is not world-class.
What has Vardy done to a world-class level for you?
What do you mean? He's won the league, though. He's not won the league. He's been banging goals, 20 goals, 18 goals plus per season. For how many seasons in a row? You tell me. He's been scoring goals. He's been taking the team. He's been scoring against the big teams. Listen.
Lukaku, before Jamie Vardy, and I know Jamie Vardy scored against the big teams. What's his name? What's that Italian striker's name that plays for Lazio? Immobile been scoring 30 to 40 goals a season. Prior to Icardi going to PSG, scoring 25 to 35 goals a season. Lukaku, 25 to 35 goals a season. For me, as I said, world class is a standard. When you watch Jamie Vardy play, yes, he scored those 20 plus goals, but they were the world class strikers. They scored more than him. They offered more than him when they were under ball, and they did more at the highest level. So they're world class players.
But don't forget, he's playing for Leicester. So if you're gonna
Immobile plays for Lazio.
No, I know.
But what Toby's saying is he doesn't think Immobile is world class.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. So like, if you're not world class, the levels are still kind of. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not gonna put Vardy in that category, then you're gonna put Harry Kane as a world class. I don't understand.
How? Harry Kane's
been banging 30, 40.
Harry Kane is better than Vardy. Harry Kane is better than Vardy.
I'm not saying Harry Kane's not world class. I say Harry Kane is world class because he'll be doing it week in, week out for the past couple of seasons. What has Vardy been doing? He's been doing the same thing.
No, he hasn't.
What is it?
Bro, so you can tell me with hand on heart, you can watch both players play and you think that they've been doing the same thing for the last 4 or 5 years. You can say that in your chest. So you can tell me
Vardy, he's been banging.
That's why it comes back to my criteria where I say it avoids all of this. Vardy doesn't pass the eye test. The simple as he's a very.
It's not the eye test. It's not just the eye test. It's the numbers as well.
I think it's just subjective.
No, the numbers, of course, because we know this already. He's got his he's got his golden boot season, and that's what can blur the lines and things like that. But on top of that, what I think is when we look at him as a striker, and when we look at Kane as a striker, we of course go to Kane straight away because he's a complete striker. Basically, he offers everything that you want from a striker and from a player just in general. But when we look at someone like Vardy, we just ask the question of if you put him in another system, or maybe if he made that move to Arsenal at the time when Arsenal wanted him, would he have been the same player? And there's all those questions that leave you doubting him, so that he needs to show himself at a better level. Do you know what I'm saying? Now that's where the Grealish thing will come into it, when he eventually gets to that stage where people are saying, he's undeniably world class, but he doesn't have a trophy. I will just be scared to do that because I want to see him do it at a level where he's competing in all front. And I just think my criteria works with every player, because I know, Toby, you said there's a number of players, but I mean, we still haven't mentioned the number of players. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, you didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish.
Go on.
So Virgil van Dijk, before he won the Champions League with Liverpool. So let's hypothetical. Had he not won the Champions League after that season when Liverpool hit 97 points and they got to the Champions League final, are you not going to tell me that Virgil van Dijk shouldn't have been called a world-class centre-back?
No, I would have called him world-class, 100%.
Hold on, and remember one thing that I said about my criteria in terms of with strikers, you need to see absurd numbers in terms of the goals they're scoring. And that's what Kane does in terms of every season, he's got the absurd numbers. With Van Dijk, in terms of him as a defender, he's something that we've never seen before in terms of the specimen of defender he is. Like, he's literally, when people argue about the most complete defenders in history, some people even make the argument that Van Dijk is the most complete. Obviously not the greatest or the best, but they'll say he's the most complete. And he fits that spectrum in terms of if he was a striker. And that's what I'm saying. I'm making that distinction. That's why my criteria fits all. It caters to all.
Nah, I don't think it does, because I don't think it does, because a player like, again, my thinking is the word world class is dished out to too many players. It's dished out to way too many players. But for me, there are some players in terms of their application to the game and the level they're playing at, that there is no other thing to describe this player apart from a world-class player. So I hate that logic that, it's a trophy that has to solidify a player's credentials as a world-class player.
When did Aubameyang become world-class for you?
Aubameyang's been world-class for years now. He's been world-class for years. What's Aubameyang's been world-class for years? Aubameyang has been clapping 30 to 40 goals for the past 5-6 years, and he's been doing it at the highest level. He's done it in the Champions League, he's done it in Europa League, he's done it in the Bundesliga as well. I don't need a trophy to tell me that Aubameyang is a world-class striker. In world football, if you had to name the 5 strikers who have set the standard over the last 5-6 years, he is there. He is there. And it's the same with Harry Kane, it's the same with Luis Suarez, it's the same with Aguero, it's the same with Lewandowski. I'm not saying that these guys are the same as each other, but they've set a standard that not many strikers are hitting. So why would I not call him a world-class striker? What? Because he's not won a Premier League title, or what? Because he won the FA Cup last year, that makes him world-class? No, he was a world-class striker before that.
So, okay, you said the world-class tag is dished out to too many players. Which players do you guys think, or how many players, let me start with this, how many world-class players do we have in the Premier League? Is it more than 10 or less than 10?
Oh, less than 10.
Less than 10. Yeah, definitely.
Then if it's less than 10, who would those world-class players be? Because if it's less than 10, the list shouldn't take long.
Okay, De Bruyne, Harry Kane, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, Raheem Sterling at a push.
I'm happy with the 6 you said. I'm done.
I feel like Sonny this season is just about near. Sonny is in that sphere this season. He's in that sphere this season. He's in the world class.
This season, yes, he's having a world class performance, but I wouldn't call him world claess personally.
Yeah, he's not a world class.
No, but that's what he's saying. He's saying that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this season he's in that bracket. If he is this season, he's in that bracket. If he maintains it, and if he maintains it to the end of the season, for me, irrespective of whether we win anything, I'm gonna stamp it, because for me, you can shake your head all you want. He's always been at the level below.
Wait. Okay, I'm gonna ask 2 questions. First,
you cannot have 2 world-class players in your team and tell me you're not winning anything. That even makes it worse. No, because it's just not that doesn't happen. Tell me
It does happen. What are you on about?
who.
It does happen. And what I'm saying, listen.
London
What
beef.
you said is
It's not beef. I'm just being honest because it doesn't.
what you said is perfect. You cannot have two world-class players in your team and not win anything. You're correct. And that's why we're called bottlers. That's why we are called perennial losers, because we've had 2 or 3 world-class players in our team at a period over the last decade, and we've not won anything. That's why there's so much criticism. So if you want to criticize us and say we don't win anything, cool, by all means.
But then, Toby, then the question is, can you then ask the question that when you're not winning anything, don't you see now why it's justified as to why rival fans or people who watch football would say, are these players world class? Are they truly world class? Like, do you understand the questions?
I can understand the questions, but as I said, I'm going off what I see the player doing as an individual. I'm not going off the team. I'm not going off the team.
I have to factor that in, innit?
You said, Toby, you made your list, and I didn't see anyone disagreeing. I didn't see anyone adding any players. Michael, you told Toby to stop at 6. But my question is now, okay, Alisson is world class. Which
Aubameyang was there, but I don't think he's. I don't think anymore.
Okay,
he's not performing at that level. So
for me, with that list, okay, you said Alisson is world class. So how come Alisson is world class and De Gea isn't world class? And then you said Sadio Mane. But if you look at Sadio Mane, Rashford, Son's, and Sterling's numbers over, I think it's a 44-game period, they are very similar. So what makes Sadio Mane world class over Sterling, Son, and Rashford?
I think Sadio Mane is a better, at his best, he's a better winger than all of them, and I think he's the one that's given us the most consistent sort of. He's given us, out of all those players that we just mentioned there, he's the one where you can say, okay, he's had more than one world-class season. I feel like last season and the season before that, you can firmly say like, yo, this guy operating at world-class level. And I put Raheem Sterling in there as well. Not my pick, but I can't go against. He's not normally my traditional world-class player, but you can't look at what he's done the last 3-4 years, the significance he's played to Man City winning the league titles, the effort, the weight in which he's had to carry, especially when Aguero's been missing, and not call him a world-class player. I'm sorry, you just can't.
And then how about Alisson and De Gea? Because for me, De Gea
used to be a world-class goalkeeper. He did. But the level he's played at the last 2 years, you cannot call him a world-class goalkeeper anymore. You just can't.
De Gea's now this season starting to produce the level of performances that we waiting from beforehand.
Exactly.
But
yes,
we had an issue even in his best seasons where he was world-class, but in terms of commanding of the areas, only this season he's come to claim a lot more crosses. It's the small things that he's adding back to his game that I can say, okay, now you're getting back to that level. But the last 2 or 3 years, I can't forget those because we all saw it. The level was not the same from the previous years. You know that to be a fact. Whereas Alisson stayed consistent throughout his whole time at Liverpool. You know what I mean? Like he's been at that level. So that's why Alisson can stay there. But De Gea was there. He's out, but he can come back in there. It happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes you go through dips, but his dip was long. It wasn't a 2-month dip. It was a 2+ year dip. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's why he's not in there right now.
So does that mean apart from Virgil van Dijk, the Premier League doesn't have any other world-class defensive player?
I'm scared. No, you know what? I'm not going to say him yet. Not yet.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Andy Robertson, he's there. He's a world-class player.
Wait. I totally forgot. Kante is there. I forgot. Kante is still a world-class player. Please, let's not do this.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Yes,
he's a quality player. I don't think he's world-class.
Kante is world-class. I'm telling you that.
I don't think he is.
Wait, did he say?
I think if you think he's world-class, you're lying to yourself, and I know you are.
Agree.
Wait, Michael, you don't think Robertson is world-class? How come?
Robertson, you think it's a world-class defender?
I personally think he's a world-class player. Yes, both defending and attacking. Yes.
Nah. I completely disagree.
So if he's not a world-class, why is he not a world-class left-back?
Say that again.
Why is he not world-class left-back?
I've watched this game. I don't think he is that great defensively. I honestly don't think so. They have the same similar problem with Trent. He have the same similar problem.
Yeah.
No, I can't lie.
From when I heard that comparison. I'm tapping out. I'm going-
Look at
He even muted himself. I don't hear.
No, Toby, calm back. Toby, calm back. Wait, but Michael, I don't think personally you can put Robbo and Trent on the same level defensively. Me personally, but I'll let you go.
Okay. Maybe not on the same level, but I don't personally. That's it. I don't think he's a world class. I don't think I'm going.
Let me ask you this. How many left backs? So forget the attacking part, because in fact, let's look at both. Defensively, how many wide players in world football have you seen give this guy a hard time over the last 3 years at Liverpool?
No,
how many times has he been beaten? How many times has he been exposed? How many times has he been exposed defensively? How many 0 out of 10 performances have you seen from him? How many times has he been a liability to Liverpool defensively? If he's not
because the league has been shambles since. The league is not great. The league has not been great.
No. It's nothing to do with the league being a shambles. The season when they missed out when Man City were better than them. How many times did you see him get roasted at left back? How many?
For me, even started before then. When he came into the team, the season when we made the Champions League final around January, that's when it started. So what's that? January 2018 to January 2021. For me, that's 3 years of him operating at a good level. And I agree with Toby. There's many games where I watch it and at the end of the game, I'm thinking, damn, Andy Robertson cost us that game, or damn, he couldn't deal with that winger. Maybe I think of Adama Traore when he played Gnabry at Anfield and Allianz. There'll probably be more, but for me, I'm clutching at straws. Me personally, I would put him world class. For me, Virgil and him, I'm probably missing out on someone. Are probably the only two world class defensive players we have in the Premier League.
I think someone that could potentially get there, I'll give him another year, but I've been a big fan of his for a while, but I'll give him another year or two. If he maintains it's early, he's only been in the Premier League for a couple of months now, so I'm not trying to throw him in there. I'm not trying to hear anyone say, oh, you've put in world class. That's my boy. Because as I expressed on here many times, I am absolutely furious that we let him go to City. Not that we're in the chase anyway, but the fact that he's gone to City just angers me, because when I see someone that I feel like appreciates the art of defending, and I see a proper defender in there, and then he can do all the other attributes of ball out, score goals from set pieces, and all that, I feel like they've just bought an absolute gem there. So I'm going to give him 2 more years. I feel like he's really doing great levels already. So it's been 6 months so far. I need 2 more years before I say, all right, cool. But Diaz, I think Diaz is going to get there in 2 years. I think it'll become undeniable in 2 years. I've been a big fan of him for ages, so that's just me saying that. But it's been a great 6 months so far, but I'm taking my time. Obviously. Sorry,
I missed what else you mentioned about Robertson, Daniel as well. But we didn't even. I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but offensively as well. So defensively, he's not defensively he's rock solid, and offensively, you'll struggle to find any left back in the world who's giving you the numbers that he's giving you offensively in terms of
going forward. It's great. Going forward is great. I'm not disputing the fact, but I just don't think it's world class at the moment for me. I don't know. I might be wrong, but it's
you could even make the argument that his defending is better than his attack. Like he's so balanced as a fullback that you struggle to find weaknesses in his game. I think if you're making the argument for Trent, because you see people who say Trent's world class, in my opinion, I don't think so. I agree. And he puts up crazy numbers as a fullback in it, but I just think that the defending is bad. On top of the fact that he if you look at his the retention of the ball, I know it's like Bruno as well, but he's a right back, man. There's such simple passes that he has to be making, and it just looks bad on him. That, in my opinion, look, if you're not putting Kimmich in the conversation, I don't think there's any world class right back.
He's the only world class right back. Straight up.
Kimmich ain't even playing right back for Bayern.
When he does, he's the best.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not played. Kimmich ain't played right back for the last couple of years. And the thing is, the same thing you're saying with. I know Kimmich is better than Trent defensively, but the same thing you're saying with Trent in terms of when he goes forward and he vacates that position and leaves space behind. Kimmich has the same issue as well. When I watched him at Bayern Munich, Kimmich had the same issue as well for Bayern Munich and for Germany. When Kimmich attacks, he's someone who high volume crosser into the box. And he always wants possession, so he's always caught high up in the field. I remember Real Madrid beat Bayern Munich a couple years ago. Bayern Munich were the better side by a distance, How many both goals that came from Real Madrid, it came on his side because they targeted him. He's always high up the pitch. He's always going to vacate the space in behind. So the same criticism that you give to Trent to a lesser extent, you need to be giving it to Kimmich as well when he plays at right back.
I understand that, but when you look at Trent and look at Kimmich, and great example, but again, one of the major things about that example was a couple of years ago. When you look at Kimmich played right back recently. I'd even say he played right back 2 seasons ago when I think, it was 2 seasons ago, and it was a good sample size where in the conversation, Kimmich was there, people were saying Trent as well was in the conversation, but what Kimmich does is that defensively, when that one-on-one defending, Trent doesn't provide that for you. He doesn't provide that cover. And it's interesting now that you see Trent's defending not be as great when Liverpool haven't had that stable right centre back, right centre back.
It's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? To cover that space, and because obviously when they vacate that space, Liverpool play away where the centre backs expand and they cover that space. And it's just like, for me, Trent he's maturing now. He's getting older, and he's still young, but obviously with each season he's getting older, and he needs to show a maturity or an improvement. Do you think the Trent you saw when he first came into Liverpool defensively has improved to the Trent you're seeing now this season? Do you think so?
Me personally, like, this might sound crazy. I think he's definitely improved, 100. But then he still needs to improve a lot more. And for me, the thing that annoys me, I said it on the last pod, when you're a defender, you have to smell danger. You have to know when an opportunity is about to happen. And I think sometimes he doesn't sense it quick enough. And you can see that in either his recovery runs or his body position when he's a one-on-one position. So I think he needs to improve on that pretty quickly, me personally.
I think with him as well, he's definitely improved defensively. As poor as he's struggling this season, he's definitely improved defensively. Like, we know that he's not a good defender, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've seen games where he hasn't done well defensively. I look at when Liverpool played PSG and he had Neymar on the left-hand side, he did very well against Neymar, defended well. And I've seen many other games like that for Trent where the guys actually defended to a good standard. But the problem is he's not a good defender. The reason why he's spoken about as a world-class player is because what he does with the ball. It's easy to say, we have to think of defending as an instinct, etc. But we're in an era where fullbacks are judged more and they're attacking than they're defending. Marcelo was called a world-class left-back for years, and he couldn't defend. He was everything for Real Madrid. He was a match winner. He was a creator. He was just absolutely everything for Real Madrid. So the level he was playing at, despite him not being good defensively, are you then going to tell me he wasn't world class for Real Madrid? So you have to apply the same. You have to apply the same logic for Trent. Yeah, it's easy to say, you got your Pereiras, you got your what's his name at Inter Milan, Hakimi, but his playmaking from right back is unreal. No one on the planet, at his best, no one on the planet is as good as Trent is from that position when it comes to creating goals and passing, distribution. No one is as good as Trent. So the level for me, what?
I was going to say, but this is why I'm very, very strict with that world class thing, because for me as a defender, because you play that position, your primary objective obviously is to defend. Obviously now you're talking about roles and stuff and how your team plays. It's different because obviously Trent goes forward a lot. When he goes forward, he's covered maybe by obviously if it's Gomez or Matip, or Henderson coming back from midfield. So it's very different. But for me, this is why I have to be very stiff with it, because the guys that I called world class, let's bring in like Ashley Cole, for example. I don't want to go all that far back, but you talk about him, good going forward, but defensively almost untouchable. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of that's why I'm very different.
But the game's changed. That's the problem.
I know it's changed, but I can't change my standard.
Changing, does that mean the criteria has to change?
I can't change my criteria.
But I feel like for fullbacks, the criteria definitely has to change, because as you can see now, being rock solid defensively is not gonna make you a world class fullback these days. You look at Wan-Bissaka at Man United, and yes, he does have some defensive deficiencies in terms of him sleeping at the back post or him aerially, but he's seen as someone who's meant to be stiff as nails defensively. And look how much criticism he gets, because ultimately, when he gets the ball in advanced positions, it's useless. The move breaks down. So right now, a fullback's mandate in a team. We talk about defending, but a fullback primarily these days, they're judged on what they can do with the ball when they're high up the pitch.
And this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. With Ashley Cole, you could judge him off the ball and on the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like his numbers will never be as good as Robertson's because he wasn't playing that kind of role. And I understand what you're saying.
It was different back then as well.
I understand that.
One football was different back then, and two, Ashley Cole for me transcends. Ashley Cole is arguably the best fullback of his generation, arguably. So like his thing is different to everyone else's. But I get your point. You want that balance. Andy Robertson gives you that balance. Not Ashley Cole standard maybe, but he gives you that balance. Trent,
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Doesn't give you that balance. But where it's lopsided, the thing that he's good at, it's not just he's good. He's world class at it. He's exceptional at it. Like,
so let's say, what's your opinion, or what would be your mindset when, like, let's say now, for example, he's had a poor season. Let's call it a spade. He's had a very, very bad season by his standard.
Trent, yes.
Let's say, like, it doesn't, like, there's no upturn in form, and this season ends, and it's a bad season on his resume. Like, this was a bad season. Is he still in that world class category?
It's sticky because the level he's played at this season, you can't call that a world class player. So if we don't see an upturn in form, then you might have to demote him because there's a dip. Players are allowed a dip, but what we're seeing this season is actually it's disgraceful. Like, it's actually disgraceful at both ends as well. It's not even because
for me going forward is worse than him going back.
That's what I was going to come to now. Like,
going forward is worse than him going back, and people haven't clocked onto it. People have focused in too much on his defensive. But if they actually watch him, like, the thing is, last season, like, yes, Liverpool used to spam in crosses, but last season you can see those crosses were with purpose. Now I'm literally thinking he's just hitting and hoping
into the box, and that for that reason, that's why I'd probably have to demote him if he continues at this rate, because the thing that he's meant to be world class at, he's not doing it. I think apart from like today, he put in one dangerous ball into the box within like the first 10-15 minutes, but majority of his attacking play this season in the league has been atrocious. He's literally just hoofing balls into the box from anywhere with no intention of it landing on a player's feet like he used to do before. Like before, his crosses were pinpoint, his passing pinpoint. We're not seeing that from Trent this season.
Yeah, it's true.
Before we leave, Dan, Mike, are there any players on Toby's list, because Kojo seemed to agree with it, that you'd want to add or remove from that world-class debate in the Premier League?
Dan wants to add Kante.
Yeah.
I've said Kante.
No, I said you want to.
Bro, he's in my list, isn't it? Like, you know.
So you wouldn't say a player like Fabinho would be?
Oh my God, I forgot about. Yeah, he's world class. Sorry.
Oh yeah, wow.
Fabinho's best.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about him. Yeah, sorry.
Because off the top of my head, I can't really think of that many players. Because you guys have mentioned Jack Grealish. I think Jack Grealish is operating at a good level. I don't think
he's operating at a quality level. Yeah.
I don't think he's world class yet, because I think a period of time still has to be factored in. And I don't think he's been operating at this level for long enough. But I think if he does play at this level and he continues to perform at this level, for me personally, I don't really need him to leave Aston Villa. For me, he'd still be world class. Because for me, it's what you do on the pitch. What happens in winning a trophy depends on your teammate. Lionel Messi is a world class player, but he ain't winning the Champions League in 2009 if UEFA weren't robbing Chelsea. You see what I mean? But he still won the Champions League. And it doesn't change the fact that you're world class or not. For me, it just depends on the player. We're talking about a player, and winning a trophy is a team game.
Facts.
I hear what you're saying, but that example is slightly weak, man. It's a slightly weak example because Lionel Messi was putting up that stupid numbers even in 2009.
He was putting in stupid numbers. But what I mean is, him winning the Champions League was dependent on his team. Like, the important goal to make the final was dependent on his team. But for me, that doesn't take away from Lionel Messi, because for me, some players are allowed to have bad games. I think we have a thought in our head that world-class players perform every single game, every single stage. Thierry Henry was undoubtedly world-class, but he didn't score in finals. But for me, that doesn't take away from him being a world-class player. If Harry Kane, for example, doesn't win a trophy, you also have to factor in that he plays for Tottenham Hotspur. If Jack Grealish performs at this level for 3 years, for me personally, you can't say that he's not world-class. Me personally,
it's ridiculous. If Kane left Spurs and went to Bayern Munich and won the Bundesliga, is that his legacy more certified now because he's won the Bundesliga?
No, because remember, I've already said that Kane is the anomaly for myself, innit? Because I know that Kane has been performing for. It's been like what over 6 years now where he's been putting ridiculous numbers.
How about
That's
Jack
not a
Grealish? Because he's
Jack-
25. And if he operates at this level and doesn't leave Villa, would you say he's not world class?
But this level isn't even a world class level. He's performing at a good quality level. He's not performing at a world class level right now.
I agree, but what I agree that he's not performing at a world class level, but I feel like he's not. I feel like it's harsh to say. Let me get my words together, because the level he's playing at this season is not normal.
Give me a world class player. Just give me off the top of my head, because I'm even trying to think as well. Give me a world class player who didn't play at a big club. Like he had a world class season at a small club. Just give me a player.
I'm thinking.
Maybe Pape Cisse. I don't even know. You do you know?
No.
Okay.
He had a good 6 months. He had a wonderful 6 months.
Okay, I wouldn't say it was world class, but Dimitri Payet was very good at West Ham that season.
That was a top notch.
That was top season.
World class season.
That top season.
Yeah.
We had Mahrez at Leicester. Even though they won the league, Leicester were a big club, but his performance in that season was at a very high level. He was the best player in the league.
Cool. What I need to see from Grealish for me to completely like look at my criteria and think, I need to rethink it is he needs to be in the PFA conversation for 3 years.
Season, though.
Playing at Aston Villa.
No, but he's in the PFA this season, in my opinion. He's in the PFA
right now. He's 1,000% in the conversation, because
for me, it's
a free candidate.
Huh?
100%. 100 for me, 100%.
I don't think he is.
For this season, without a doubt, for this season, without a doubt, he's been top 5 performers in the league this season.
Would you say who's my top 3?
Yeah, who would?
Bruno, Grealish, Harry Kane.
KDB is above Grealish, bro.
This season, me personally, I think KDB has been good.
Dan, you have to be fair with it. Yeah?
No, of course.
But what I'm saying is, look, KDB by his standards had a dodgy start to the season. He wasn't playing well. I feel like he was still putting up numbers in terms of his system and whatnot, but he wasn't really playing that well. I feel like it's only maybe the last year and a bit. I mean, not last year. Sorry, the last last 2 months where you can say, okay, cool. KDB's literally hitting top his normal level. Jack Grealish, from day one to present, the level has really dropped. Like he's creating every game, he's scoring goals, he's assisting, he's carrying his team week in, week out. Like I feel like with Jack Grealish, if he keeps playing at this level he's playing at for another 2 years, excluding this season, I don't see what other way you can describe him.
Me too.
The thing about it is now, and this is how I'll kind of like leave it, is it's not a coincidence that even when I asked for an example of a player playing the way Grealish is playing, it took us a while. Payet is one. I don't know if we can mention like 5 guys who did that. There's a reason why these guys either drop off and whatnot. So let's see if Grealish can do that and perform at this level continuously. There's always something that affects it, innit? Do you know
Grealish has been carrying their team for when they were in championship. He's been taking that team. He's been carrying their team. It just, as you said, is the levels with performance. He's not playing the Champions League. He's just playing. This is the second season in the Premier League. He did that last year. He's doing it this year. Give him some. Okay, it's not a world class. The way I think this world class thing is just subjective.
100%.
That's what it is. Because if you getting a Villa fan in here, it's gonna tell you he's a world class. What he brings in the team, what he does for his team, it's a world class. So I mean that's what I think. I mean, he's been taking that team for so long. He's been kind of. I mean, he's doing it now. So it's just subjective. Let's just leave it like that.
I do think right now I wouldn't call Grealish a world class player. I think he's performing at an incredibly high standard. It's not even just good. He's performing at a ridiculous standard. So I feel like for him, the next step is either for him to continue doing it for another couple of seasons, or to go to a bigger club and then replicate the form. Because his trajectory right now, I'll be shocked if we're not calling this guy a world class player in the next 2-3 years. The way he's going right now, the performances that we're seeing, irrespective of who he's playing, I'll be shocked. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
And I think that's a perfect way to end the show. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Before I end the stream, guys, plug yourselves. Where can they find you? Do you guys have any projects that you're coming up soon with channels, Instagram, YouTube? Plug yourself.
Who's going first?
You go first.
No, you go first. Let Daniel go first because obviously he thinks Kante's world class. He lives in Fairyland. So,
The thing is, I will go first because Tottenham are always second anyway. But I see your screen, Daniel Banerjee, obviously, if you want to see my personal tweets and all of that. But for all my content, Eyes on the Ball TV, got a number of shows that have been coming out recently. So just check out Eyes on the Ball TV on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Eyes on the Ball TV.
Toby, since you did say Tottenham are second.
Listen, whatever, man. I'm used to it. I'm used to it as a Spurs fan, so it's fine. Our time will come in my lifetime anyway. God willing. Find me on YouTube. Literally one word, Tapping-Tobes, TAPINTOBS. I literally started my YouTube channel like 3 weeks ago, so I'm gonna put some content on there this week to preview the Liverpool game as well. So come in, view it, and then if you don't really want to watch me but you want to hear my thoughts, I'm on Twitter with the same name at Tapping-Tobes, and I'm on Instagram with the same name at Tapping-Tobes.
Coach.
Free Me for Podcast over here. You can find us on YouTube at Free Me for Podcast, and obviously Twitter, Free Midfield, and your audios, your Spotify, your SoundCloud, your Apple Podcast, Free Midfield, and that's about it. Projects are coming up with other people as well, so you'll see them on the Twitter. So just watch out for them and come follow us, subscribe, and all that.
And Michael.
Michael, just Macaulay Films or Macaulay 7. That's it. So I'm into filming and Footsays as well. So I'm part of the Footsays team. Anything related to film, you can hit me up. That's it, really. So nothing to promote.
Thank you for joining this. This was an enjoyable conversation, and let's see if Grealish can become world class in 3 years.
It ain't happening.